Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast. Did you know? Brought to you by Mallard Bay. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Today, June 11th.
Oh, I thought we were doing Did You Know?
Uh-uh.
Well, hell, I've been working on my Did You Know. Go to June 11th. Today, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells.
June 11th.
We're downloading it. We're getting a lot. Andy's fixing on vacation again. He's a world traveler, so we're trying to get some stuff done. So we're doubling up today. So
Hard to keep stuff straight.
Yes, it is.
All right, June 11th. Today, John Wayne did die today, but we just did John Wayne. I think I did John Wayne last week or 2 weeks ago. So
Had a lot of days.
Yeah, June was a busy month for John Wayne, or maybe it was May. I don't know. So my event for today, a little bit of desegregation goes on in the United States today. 1963, the University of Alabama
First black student.
officially desegregates. 2 African-American students, Vivian Malone and James A. Hood, registered for classes at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
And he'd have played football.
And didn't?
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Why would you want to go there? June 11th, 1963, after federalized Alabama National Guard troops forced Alabama Governor George Wallace to halt his blockade and submit to a judge's order ending segregation at the university. George Wallace, one of the most controversial politicians in U.S. history, was elected governor of Alabama in 1962 under an ultra-segregationist platform. In his 1963 inaugural address, he promised his white followers segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. When African-American students attempted to desegregate the University of Alabama in June 1963, Alabama's new government, flanked by state troopers, literally blocked the doors of the enrollment office. The United States Supreme Court, however, had declared segregation unconstitutional in 1954. In the Brown v. Board of Education, and the executive branch undertook aggressive tactics to enforce the rule. On June 10th, 1963, President JFK federalized National Guard troops and deployed them to the University of Alabama to force its desegregation. The next day, Governor Wallace yielded to the federal pressure, and Malone and Hood were able to complete their enrollment. In September of the same year, Wallace again attempted to block the desegregation of Alabama public schools, this time in Tuskegee High School, but President Kennedy once again employed his executive authority and federalized National Guard troops. Wallace had little choice but to yield. Wallace would then go on to launch a failed presidential campaign. My question, I mean, I think it's obvious that it was good that we desegregated, but are there not lines of state and federal states' rights?
I think that they were going to cut off federal funding to schools. That's probably how they did it. You know, they did the same thing.
You want to do this, go ahead. Kind of like what they're doing with Harvard. You want to go on down this road, fine, but you're not going to get any money from us.
They did the same thing with drinking ages. And they did the same thing, because I think Louisiana was the last state that had 18 or 19-year-old drinking age. And they did the same thing with the speed limit. Because speed limit used to be set by the states. In some states, and I'm going to misquote here, but I think it was 80, 90 miles an hour. And the government said, no, if you want federal highway funding, you're going to go to 55. And it was that way forever. And now it's changed again. Yes.
Yeah, because it's 85 parts in Texas.
Yeah, between San Antonio and El Paso, there's some stretches. It's
like I said, I'm not defending it or anything. It's just one of those things. Where's the line of states' rights?
I think we need to desegregate.
Yeah,
I think there's no doubt about it. But I believe that Section 8 apartments and stuff are killing towns. And I think that people like to be with their own people. And I'm not talking based on color. I'm talking about economically. If you're a poor kid, you want to go to school with other poor kids. You don't want to sit in a class with kids that have everything and you have shit.
Right.
And if you've made money and you've done well for yourself, you want your kids to be at a school with people that are done well for themselves. And you don't want your kids around a bunch of kids that are subject to things that they're not subject to. Right. So I think sometimes we ought to let people alone, because I'm going to bet you that a lot of those black people did not want to go to school with white kids either.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the way I feel about it. I grew up poor, and I didn't like going to school with rich kids. I like being poor because I didn't know I was poor until I got to junior high, because everybody was poor.
Right.
And so I think sometimes when you blend people together, it's not always good.
One last thing on June 10th. Today was the day that JFK received his medal for gallantry. You had talked about what he did and how he got the wartime honors.
Yes.
So today was the day that they officially recognized him in 1944. All right. My guy that was born today, he co-invented the first successful self-contained underwater breathing apparatus
Last name SCUBA.
by the name of SCUBA.
Are you serious? I was guessing that.
No, that's what SCUBA stands for.
What?
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Okay. I thought his name maybe was
No,
SCUBA. I didn't know his name. I was making that up.
This guy co-invented it.
Okay, then I have no idea.
Man by the name of Jacques Cousteau.
Are you serious? I knew
Yes.
that was going to be my guess.
Yes,
just because he's world famous for that, but I did not know that.
That's right. He was a French naval officer, oceanographer, filmmaker, and author. He co-invented the first successful open-circuit, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, otherwise known as SCUBA. They called it the Aqualung, which assisted him in producing some of the first underwater documentaries. I'm a big diver myself. Got me a dive watch now, so can't wait to use that. So me and Jacques Cousteau, we got a lot in common. We both love breathing underwater.
Are you going to take the kids to scuba diving in Costa Rica?
I don't know if we're scuba diving this time. I don't know.
Did the kids do it before?
No, just
Are they
Jesse
too
and I.
young to do it?
I don't know. I mean, the lady that went with us, she said she was around 10 years old when she first started, but we had never done it before, so we didn't know what it would be like. So we didn't want to have our 10-year-old at the bottom of the ocean and have something go wrong. Especially he has asthma.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that then either.
So, but now that we've done it, I would take him.
He would like it.
And like, here's the thing. I think the deepest we went was like 30 feet, 25, 30 feet. I can get to the top. If shit really went wrong, I could get to the top. You know what I mean? Plus, like,
Have you ever been 30 feet underwater without a mask? No.
But
That's
I mean, I
right.
can shoot up to the top. I've been 20 feet, and I think most of the time we were there was that 20 to 25 foot.
No, with
I can.
you think that.
I can.
Yeah.
Plus, they've got these inflatables on you. Just push the button.
Well, that would
You
be
got
bad
air,
then.
and you go up because that's what they do. You
I almost screwed up in Jamaica one time.
descend that way.
I saw a pair of Oakleys down, and it was a little deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a mask. I was just snorkeling. And let me tell you something. That last 10 feet, and I was in shape back then, not the shape of round like I am now, but it's not as easy as you think it is. But I didn't have an inflatable. Inflatable makes all the difference.
I think the Navy SEALs, when they're doing their drown-proof training, I think it's a 20-foot pool.
I'm not Navy SEAL.
Yeah, you were in shape.
I can.
But they got to do it for like 20 minutes.
I mean,
too,
I've been
though.
in a
You
lot
can't do
of
it
public
once.
pools that are 15 foot deep and go to the bottom. Hell, the pool in Knox City is what, 12 or 15?
I think so.
But 24, double it. That's getting down there.
It was fun, though. I enjoyed it.
So Jacques Cousteau
Jacques Cousteau was
invented it.
born today. Yep, he co-invented it. Cousteau wrote many books describing his undersea explorations. In his first book, The Silent World, a story of undersea discovery and adventure, Cousteau surmised the existence of echolocation, ability to existence of the porpoises. They communicate via echolocation. The book was adapted into an underwater documentary called The Silent World, co-directed by Cousteau and Louis Malle. It was one of the first films to use underwater cinematography to document the ocean depth in color. The film won the 1956 Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and remained the only documentary to do so until 2004 when Fahrenheit 9/11 received the award. It was also awarded to the Academy Awards Best Documentary in 1957. From 1966 to 1976, he hosted the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau, a documentary television series. The second documentary series, The Cousteau Odyssey, ran from 77 to 82 on public television stations. So Jacques Cousteau, a man that loved the water and figured out how we could breathe under there. All right, my guy that died today, Bombardier Billy Wells. He was an English heavyweight boxer fighting under the name Bombardier Billy Wells. He was British and British Empire champion from 1911 until 1919, defending his title 14 times. And that was back in the day where you would just get your skull beat in. So the fact that he did this 14 times. In 1911, he became the first heavyweight to win the Lonsdale belt, which he had been introduced for British champions at all weights in 1909. Phil Grant held the Lonsdale belt when he was in the TA. I don't know what that means. Wells was 6'3", big man, and between 182 and 192 pounds. He fought with an orthodox style. Big British, big British boxers. They love the guy over there. In 1911, he published the books Modern Boxing and the Practical Guide to Present Day Methods. On September 7th, 1912, he married Ellen Kilroy, the daughter of a publican. They had 4 children together before eventually parting. And then let's see here. See if I can figure out how he died. Doesn't say how he died. I'm betting his scrambled his brains is what I would bet. In 1906, Wells joined the Royal Artillery as a gunner. He was posted at Rawalpindi, where he boxed in divisional and all India championships with great success. He was promoted to a bombardier and began training full-time with the help of a civilian coach. It became apparent that Wells was good enough to make a living from boxing. So in 1910, he bought himself out of the army and returned to Britain. This was at a time when boxing was becoming very popular as a spectator sport in Britain and elsewhere. So he was one of the first guys to be a big-time boxer, very well-known guy in Britain. I didn't know much about him. Still don't know much about him, but he is one of the only guys that died other than John Wayne, which I'd already done. So that is June 12th, 11th, whatever day it is today. We love you. Goodbye. Watch for deer.
Peace. Take care and God bless.